drive we have as human beings to push our limits, not only for survival, but for optimal growth, is shaped by millions of years of evolution. It's in our DNA. It enables us to innovate, to adapt to an ever-changing world. Really think about that the next time you pick up a set of weights to do a leg workout. Is your mindset, I just want to maintain what I have? Or, I don't want to get too big, I just want to get toned? Or maybe you're just there because your doctor says you should be there. If you go in with that mindset, you're never going to achieve results, and you're going to be trapped in this state of constant mediocrity that you're going to take into your everyday life all the time. Discipline, focus, attention to detail, and a relentless commitment to getting in there and getting after it each and every workout. You do that, and you're honoring your evolutionary blueprint. You're training your body to adapt. You're building confidence, skills you're taking out into the real world in your everyday life so you can thrive and become the best version of yourself. Let's get into it, starting with mobility and stability. When you're working out your legs, you need to get your body accustomed to going through the full range of motion. If you don't have proper mobility at your ankle joints, your hip joints, and your thoracic spine, you're not going to be able to achieve that full range of motion. Stability. If you don't have core and pelvic stability, you're not going to achieve maximum muscle activation in the leg muscles you're working. You're going to be constantly recruiting other muscles just to keep your balance. Remember, the goal here is targeted muscle growth. Focus, discipline, attention to detail. Execution mastery. Remember, the goal is to challenge the muscle, not just to move weight. So many of us, when we first start, get in there without the proper guidance, and we're just moving the weights, and we keep getting heavier and heavier. Meanwhile, our form is compromised, and our habits get worse and worse, could lead to injury, and it could compromise the optimal growth that we get from the targeted muscle. Isolation and compound movements. You want a mix of both. Slow and controlled. You want constant tension on the working muscle. Keys to optimizing your quad training. You're focused, you're disciplined, and you're intentional. Think about what you're doing. Be present. A couple things to think about when it comes to your form. Your knees and your toes are aligned. It's okay if your knees go in front of your toes, as long as you have proper form. Your feet are flat on the ground. When you push up, you're pushing from the balls of your feet. Your back isn't rounding. And this you need to keep in mind. Everybody's form is going to be slightly different. So as you're beginning, you're trying out new ways of standing and squatting. And soon you're developing that mind-muscle connection. As time goes on, you can identify when the muscles that need to be engaged are engaged, and you're not recruiting other muscles or relying on poor posture, which could compromise your back. An important note, when you're working out legs, you're going to get so much advice from coaches, teachers, athletes, bros in the gym, people who have suffered injuries in their past, even healthcare practitioners. You have to get to know your body. For example, the rounding of the back when you're doing squats. For some people, if they're in touch with their bodies, the way their body is designed, that slight rounding may not make an impact whatsoever. Other people, it might feel uncomfortable or cause shooting pain even. Obviously, you want to avoid that. Eventually, you might get to the point where you gain more mobility and stability and are feeling more comfortable with the movement, that you are able to slightly round your back and be okay with it. The same goes for going down low. Going down low, getting that full stretch is a great thing to shoot for, but do it gradually. If you're feeling pain in your spine when you're doing squats, go down the checklist. Ask yourself some of these questions. Number 1, how's your form? Are your feet flat on the ground? Are you leaning too far forward? That's problematic. You're putting the pressure on your spine. You want to keep the load on the working muscles. The quads, the hams are going to help, the glutes. Your core needs to be strong enough and engaged. You need mobility and stability in your hips, in your ankles, your knees, so you can properly go about the movement. Again, the more you put in the reps, the more you build that mind-muscle connection. And when you're doing a squat or any other exercise for that matter, you are fully aware of which muscles are being targeted and they're engaged. And you're not relying on your spine or other muscles to take on the burden of the load. The biggest mistakes I commonly see when training quads is mindlessly moving the weight, bouncing up and down, using too much weight that compromises your stability, knees caving in, back rounding. These are all red flags, and you need to start identifying when you're pushing your body out of its natural rhythms. Remember, when we honor our body's natural form and function and move it in the way it was designed to move, we will rarely, if ever, experience an injury. Remember that. There you go. A few key takeaways to building bigger, better, more functional legs. Remember, mindset is huge. Go into that workout with confidence. You're disciplined, you're focused, you have intention. And stay committed. Don't go on for a couple weeks, off for a couple weeks. Set time aside. You will achieve results. Remember, it's in your DNA to evolve, to adapt, to innovate, and become a better version of yourself. To see future videos on specific exercises and other muscle groups, check out the playlists on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Make a comment. And of course, like the video if you in fact liked it. Remember, I love you.